So Lightyear. This is the story about Buzz Lightyear. This is the movie that Andy saw when he was a kid that inspired him to buy the toy of Buzz Lightyear. So this movie is about the guy that the Buzz Lightyear toy that you see in the Toy Story movies is based on. Try explaining that to somebody when they check out this movie.
Right, right.
And so here you don't have Tim Allen returning as Buzz Lightyear character. You have Chris Evans, who's the real life guy, and this is all about him trying to help a team of people get off a marooned planet here that they've been spending years and years on. Um, and this is a sci-fi film as well. And I was kind of a little bit interested. I mean, obviously this movie is Pixar. How often does Pixar miss when it comes to their movies? And then also that when it comes to the Toy Story movies, I have enjoyed all of them. What about you?
Same.
You've enjoyed
Same.
all.
Yeah, it's more of a matter of which one you like least, and like I thought four was shockingly great. Like it was an honorable mention that year. Key and Peele added a lot to it. That gag of them scaring people, I thought was the funniest goddamn thing when they would just pop out from the shadows and shit. I thought that was really great. And then bringing Bo Peep back, that really worked for me. Um,
Yeah, they
but the
upgraded Bo
movies,
Peep. Bo Peep was fine as hell in that movie. They
I
upgraded.
know. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
hello. But it was, but I think all four films work. I don't think I'm taking a leap by saying this is the worst of the Toy Story films. But like, this isn't like, how do I put this? This isn't like Good Dinosaur, where I just went, did I watch that? Like, there was enough in this I went, oh, I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember this, like, 6 months from now. It's just not as like the Toy Story IP being attached to this is like the worst thing for it because you have those high expectations of this is a Toy Story movie, which it technically is, and it just never reaches the height of even the quote worst unquote Toy Story movie.
which is
But
which
I
is
wasn't
considered
like,
the worst one, the third one.
oh, maybe the fourth one,
Hmm.
probably the fourth one.
Okay.
But but at the same time, I was watching like I'm still having fun with this. It's just not. We need to hold Pixar to a higher standard. Like when
Hmm.
you're Pixar, you need to be held to a higher standard. It's only fair. And this is kind of like this doesn't sound so fucked, but this is like the best version of the Good Dinosaur that you could possibly make. It's like it's not like it's fine, but it's not something that you need to show your kids necessarily.
Yeah.
So it's alright.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just agree with you. Like I said, it's alright. It's just meh.
Yeah,
It's fine. It
yeah,
doesn't reach the heights as the Toy Story movies. The Toy Story movies, which Pixar, I mean, they did four movies, all of which are very very good in the Toy Story
yep.
franchise, and with this one, I think there were a lot of high expectations coming into it of obviously of the studio behind it and it connected to these Toy Story movies, which I think that was also a detriment to it, like it trying to be connective, like this was the movie that Andy saw when he was a kid and all this other stuff. Like I think that was just to me trying to connect it and all those things. I think was pointless. But when it comes to I like some of the cool sci-fi elements here that they do. Like when I was
Same.
mentioning when we talk about the trailers, I can't remember the last time I've seen a sci-fi animated film like in recent years. Like
Yeah.
so it was kind of nice that they did that. Chris Evans gives a good performance as Buzz Lightyear, gives a good voice performance here, and which is not easy to do because like when you saw Marvel's What If, that's not it's not easy
Yeah.
to do. Like there was a lot of
Sebastian
backwards.
Stan, I love you, man, but
Yeah, that so
yeah.
I think he does kind of a good job here. He is kind of playing a similar character here as Buzz Lightyear as Captain America, where he's another guy that's out of time that has such a
Yeah.
strict sense of morality and what I mean because it's all about this guy Buzz Lightyear is obsessed with doing the right thing. He's like, I messed up. I got to fix my mistake. I'm trying to get these people who it was kind of partial. It was my fault that we crashed and we're stuck here on this planet. I'm marooned here, and I got to make it right. I got to complete the mission. I got to fix the mission. That's interesting. I think that's an interesting
Yeah,
concept. Um,
agreed.
and but I think it's kind of hindered by bringing in these other kind of supporting cast members here because the thing is when he it's all about them trying to fix the hyperdrive, and he's trying to constantly test it over and over again, but as he constantly tests it he goes a year into the future, so every time he comes back it's a year later. And so it's like all these people in his life that he's trying to correct and trying to save, they're dying as he's trying to save them, and that's kind of very kind of deep in a way almost, or interesting in a way, that concept. And but when he gets and then at one point he goes so far into the future where the people that he's trying to save are kind of not even there anymore, and he has to deal with, then it becomes Buzz Lightyear and the fuck up squad, of these kind of other people that kind of come there. One of them, who is the only other character in this movie who has a kind of the only kind of arc other than Buzz in this movie, who's voiced by Kiki Palmer, who is the
Yeah, fine
granddaughter.
ass Kiki Palmer.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
Kiki Palmer has really been blowing up. I think these last couple of years, like in the stuff she's been in, she's been working a lot, very consistently.
Yeah, Hustlers. She's got Nope coming up. She did that movie Alice, which I really like. Like, yeah, no, she's
Yeah,
doing, she's doing shit.
yeah. She was also in like Scream Queens. She was also in.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. Yeah, she was in that.
Yeah, so I mean, her career's really been kind of popping off lately. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like her. I like her voice performance here. She's the granddaughter of the Hawthorne that Buzz knew there, and
Alicia.
yeah, Alicia. And you see, like, every time he comes back, her life, she has a wife. Then he comes back again. She has a child. Then he comes back again. Now the child has graduated college or the academy or whatever. And like
Yeah.
that, I thought that was a really good moment. Like every time he kind of goes by, just that happens. And then as he's going by, she gets older and older and older. And you kind of see those things. And I thought that was kind of a good moment. And then
Same.
the character of Socks, who's like the robot cat. Socks was
God bless
kind of
that cat.
yeah. That Socks was kind of the MVP of this movie, really.
Oh,
I mean,
Socks is the best character in the movie, and that's kind of, you could say that's an issue in a movie that's called Lightyear, because that there's a point where that cat almost gets killed, and I was like, you better save that fucking cat right now. Like, he's the only person I care about to make that alive. But yeah, Socks fucking rule. Like, the thing I think I could say about this movie is that this would be a very nice kind of like 101 to a kid about sci-fi. Like, you want to kind of gauge if you wanted to, like, like if a kid wants to watch, Close Encounters or Day of the Earth Stood Still or whatever, down the road. I think this is a good introduction of sci-fi for, like a kid who's like 8 or 9. Like, maybe you show them Twilight Zone after this, but I think this is actually a very good, you know, um, launching pad, potentially get a kid into sci-fi. The big, now I don't even want to say this is an issue, but it's something that I know that when I watched it, um, the whole twist with Zurg, that was something that I about 30 minutes in, I went, I have a feeling you're gonna do this thing, and then when they do it, I went, oh, that's gonna irritate some people. Like as soon as it happened, I went, oh yeah, that's gonna piss some people off. But I actually like the twist because it actually adds a little more gravitas to Buzz's journey in general. But
mm,
um, I but it's such a classic sci-fi thing too. So I was
yeah.
like, yeah,
You
I
called it.
get why you would. Oh yeah, like I was
Okay.
sitting there like you're showing Zurg in shadow. Oh, you're probably gonna. Oh, yep, there it is. So, um, but I like the fact that that whole twist with Zurg ends up being a thing where it allows Buzz to reflect on his own journey, which is why it personally worked for me. As far as the other characters, I know we mentioned Kiki Palmer's Izzy. Taika Waititi, he's basically playing Taika Waititi. He's kind of like how Jason Mantzoukas plays Jason Mantzoukas and everything, but he's really great at playing Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Taika works here as a comedic relief, and there's this whole bit with the pin that you know exactly where it's going in the very end. Like, of course, they'll need the pin for something. And I laughed when in the way that they're like, "Oh, we need to use this pin." I was just like, "Oh my fucking god! Of course you do." Um, yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, if you've seen a sci-fi movie, you can definitely pick up the beats as far as where certain elements will go. But as far as to your point, the whole fact that Buzz is losing time by correcting this mistake, and he comes across this ragtag group of people that he needs to team up with. The fact that he's able to realize the importance of time and to go ahead and actually be okay with losing on occasion. I appreciate the way that the film deals with that. I appreciate the fact that the film doesn't come right out and say it, but Socks is there to really help Buzz's PTSD from fucking up so many times.
Yeah.
And losing the people that he knows, which is like a really dark thing when you think about it. So the movie worked for me more than it doesn't. It's just it has a Lightyear name attached to it, and that's just something that fair or not, because we talked about it. This comes from the Toy Story universe, and the fact that there is a Buzz Lightyear Star Command show, which was so good.
Oh, you
Like
saw the show? I've
really
never
good.
seen the show before.
Yeah, the show was really great, actually. Like surprisingly so, and that is better than this too. And that's the other thing that it's like we have to have that conversation. Like fair is fair. So it's just not as good as that either. But this is still, I think, a worthy entry. It's just not gonna be. It's gonna be one of those movies where a couple years from now, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, Lightyear was a thing, like,
Yeah.
which sucks because I'd actually like to see more of this, but um, it's a cool moment when he actually gets the actual proper suit. There's some very obvious sci-fi references, stuff from Aliens to Close Encounters. There is a jump scare that got me so good in here. There's a point where this robot reaches through the ship and grabs Buzz and pulls him out. And dude, that shit got me so good. I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" It was actually a really good jump scare. But I really like the third act. I really like the third act. I think it does well with tension. And this is also like an hour 45 ish, so it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
I think it hits a nice like spot as far as because not everything needs to be 2 hours. Like studios, not everything needs to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I think it works in a good space. Michael Giacchino, who's one of my favorite composers, he of course did the Batman score earlier this year. I think his score is excellent, and it really does lend to some great moments for Buzz and for the rest of the crew. But yeah, I think this is a good movie. It's just not a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, I agree with a lot of points you said. It's just fine. I mean, the movie looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Come to be expected again with the studio we're working with, that we're
Yep.
dealing with here. It just when it comes to these other side characters, like you have, like I said, Taika Waititi. He's playing Taika Waititi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think
he
he's
is.
as annoying as he is maybe in something like Free Guy. But at Taika Waititi, he's a funny guy. I mean, he is. I do
Yeah,
like him. But in this, it's just like he's just there to fuck up shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like they wrote the movie and they was like, oh damn, this movie's only like 60 minutes. We need to have it extended longer. Let's have his character fuck up some shit. I mean, that's all he's kind of there
yeah.
for, and it's just be the one note. And then the same thing with the other character, who's Darby, who's the
Darby,
convict.
yeah,
It's just there.
yeah,
The only thing with her is this. The only stuff is one note. She's a convict who can't touch guns and she likes to blow up stuff. Okay,
yeah.
you know what I mean. It's kind of just one note stuff with the both of those characters, which kind of became annoying. I think it just would have been good if it was just a Buzz Lightyear and Socks movie. That would have been it would have been way better if it was just that.
Yeah, fair.
Honestly. And if they, I mean, you could have just also with this movie played it off as like, hey, it's maybe Andy. He's playing with his toys, and this is his own like little imagination movie that he's doing, or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe you could have got by with that instead of trying to, make it like this is the real story of the guy that the toy is based on. It's like okay. Um,
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just okay. It's just whatever.
Yeah,
You
it's alright.
you know what I
It's
mean?
alright.
I wouldn't rush to go see it again, or anything like that. But there's some decent elements in here, and that's just about it. So for me, I would give it. I think it's the definition of a stream it for me that you could probably watch on
Yeah,
Disney Plus, and okay,
I, I'd give it like a high stream it. It's something that I like. I'll watch it again when it does hit Disney Plus, but um, they're like visually, I will say. And again, I know we mentioned it's Pixar, like their visuals, like they should be up to snuff, but some of the conversations that Buzz has with Socks are like very human, and I was really sitting there going, "Wow, this is actually kind of hitting more for me than I thought it would." But at the same time, to your point, the side characters are there to be, one note, and that's really it. Hawthorne's the only one that really gets some uh, development, but it's the classic. My parent was better than me. Like it's not a
yeah, I gotta
they're
live up
not
to my
covering new ground.
parents' legacy and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, it's not covering new ground in that sense, but I do think that the last third really does add quite a bit of a emotional punch to it. I think visually in that last third, it really does up its game. And Socks, God bless that cat. But yeah, I think a high stream it, but it's nothing you need to rush out and see.
Yeah, yeah. Socks, yeah, Socks is great. Socks is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
Socks. Give me Sock shorts. Sock short, double S. Oh my God, Pixar, pay me. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sock show. Yeah, I'd see that. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Just adventures with Lightyear and socks. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
So that was Lightyear.